I can't even believe I didn't get shot.
Instant reaction.
I don't even know where you
gets
pulled that gun out of.
Bullets start flying. See you later, alligator.
Yeah, after that shootout, if I came home, no scratches on you?
Nah, scratch on me.
That would be intolerable at home.
Oh.
No one would be able to listen. I would be like, I don't care what anyone has to say. Like, I defended my home. I would off in the mirror. I would literally be like, you are all nothing without me.
These kids now I see, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, I'm like, phew. By 11, I was borderline on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd already caught my first case by 11. You ever sometimes wake up and feel like you're a woman trapped in a man's body?
No.
Yes.
Oh, all right, neither do I.
Yeah, all the time.
Clap us in, clap us out. You guys know what this podcast is all about. Here we go. All right, now we had an argument. How do we pronounce your last name correctly?
I know how to pronounce it.
How?
You're Italian.
Yeah.
It's Ricci.
Richie, yeah, Richie.
Right.
Richie.
He was like,
shit.
Ricci.
I'm trying. I'm an immigrant.
I know
I'm
you
off the
are.
boat. I
I
don't know
know.
what's going on.
He's from Afghanistan, so he's...
Yeah. He wishes he's from Afghanistan.
No, I don't actually.
No, that's
I'll stay
probably
away from
one
it.
place I don't ever want to be from.
Yeah, I don't want to be from Afghanistan.
It's not doing too well right now. So.
I don't think it's ever been done.
Yeah.
Dave, you know what
They
it is?
had a
Afghanistan has
little-
always been the middleman that's always been taking a loss.
Yeah, don't they show photos of Afghanistan in the 70s and women were allowed to be women?
Yeah.
Like they had like normal dresses and outfits and then like... all that
Afghanistan
shit.
is like me as a weed dealer. You know what I mean? It's just not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
I heard.
It's just not going anywhere. It's just not
That's
for
okay.
me. I want to fight
an
everybody.
intern.
I just...
Yeah, you're just like an intern.
Nah, I just don't like people wasting my time, bro. I have no patience for these little games. Like I just don't. If we're gonna have plans and people have to see people, like show up at least. You know, I just don't. I one
hate
time,
when
two
people
times.
I hate when people are late. Is this what you're discussing?
I think Vince is a big on that too, right? Vince told me you don't fuck with the latenesses.
Nope.
People
People show up late, I leave.
Yeah.
Literally.
How much time do you give them?
Well, it really depends. Every situation is different depending who it is. We were in Miami with Dan, Eric Spotford, Dan, a bunch of other people, and some girl came to the dinner that was friends with somebody that was friends with Roger. Then she wanted to talk to me about business, and I said, "You want to ask me a question about business?" I said, "You showed up here over an hour late." And she said, "Well, it's not a business meeting." I said, "Then don't talk to me about business."
Oof.
And Frankie was like, "Oh, that was good." And she like looked at me and she was like, "Well, I do X, Y, and Z and this and that." And I said, "Well, for someone who does so much, it's incredible how late you showed up." You know, and it was just to me like it's almost disrespectful. But to what you were saying, I was talking to Aviv before about this, and he said you get frustrated. I said, "Tell him that 19 out of 20 deals don't go through."
I know.
To numbers
My whole
came
thing
out.
is I don't mind the deals not going through.
pussy.
I don't like when somebody confirms with me. I set everything up. I hassle people, and people don't show. At least show. At least show and just look. I didn't ask you to. Hey, you're not committed to anything. Just look.
Let it out, Val.
No, I'm good. I
Say it
can't.
to the
I
camera,
promised
say it
I
to
wouldn't
the-
talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah, you're
but
the one who brought it up.
yeah. Listen,
Immediately.
I'm not gonna be-
Immediately start the podcast. We were like, Val, maybe you shouldn't talk about your drug dealing. And then you're like, hey guys,
Wait,
remember me?
whoa. I'm not drug dealing. Okay.
Oh, it's illegal in the state of
Relax.
California.
Relax.
I get it. You're just
Relax.
you're
Brokering from distribution. to
Yeah, my
distribution.
brother. I'm just a little salesman once in
you're
a
a
while.
marijuana transfer engineer.
I'm just a broker.
Yeah, like you. He's kind of the same thing. Every time these people waste your time, you got to look at like, oh, cool. Every time I consistently do good business, that's a class act. That's you consistently being a professional. No matter how they act, it doesn't change how you act. I still like people who don't like me, people who talk shit about me, people who say that, oh, Vince says he's this, and that, he really ain't this. I see them, I'm like, hey, what's up, buddy? Ready to do business? I could do that for 11 years. You want to know why? Because that is my business.
Well,
my
you play
business.
the game.
I play the game,
Right.
and I'm in the service industry. And whether I don't like them, like literally, if that person stopped doing what they were doing and they got hit by a bus tomorrow, I don't care. I
show up to the
really
hospital. Like, are we doing this?
yeah, I, like if they could somewhat string that person together on a ventilator and like still make them some sort of utility to me, I will come and bring them a gummy bag. But outside of that, if they're useless, oh, forget about that. I forget they even exist. Today we're in a meeting with the managers and they said something about, I said, did you confirm the Zoom? And they said, yeah. I said, when? And he said, May 18th. And we were on a Zoom today in a room with 8 people waiting for the Zoom to start. And I said, May 18th? I said, someone could die, get buried, and literally remarry all within the time that you just did and be forgotten about within the time that you didn't confirm. And the team was like, wow. And I said, it is the truth. The guy texts, I'm so sorry. I had a funeral and a wedding. and literally wrote that exact thing. I said, look what happens.
See?
But you know that's why people have a problem with you, because you go straight to their face and you tell them straight up like, yo, and they can't say nothing to you because you are about your money. So what are they gonna tell you, right?
Yeah.
Because then that's the frustration. It's like, fuck, he's right. Fuck, he has the money. Fuck, he has the deal on point. What am I gonna say to you? So people get mad.
Yeah, they hate it.
They hate it because you tell them straight to their girl like, yo, you're not about it. You're just not about it. Just say it for what it is, and people don't want to hear it, right?
Yeah. Are you gonna intro him?
Oh yeah. Well, isn't this the intro? This is the intro right here. Yes. So Vince is the fellow owner of Hubble Studio, huge studio in Los Angeles. And I don't know how far you want to go into the history of Hubble Studio, but Hubble Studio services a lot of high-profile people like Billie Eilish. We're talking about like Rihanna, right? Travis Scott, Kim Kardashian, all the big names. How did you get into this business, and how did you make it successful?
Got into Hubble Studio interesting way. I was out here doing a handful of other things, a lot of cannabis stuff, and I was also simultaneously actually trying to enlist to the Navy to try to go to Buds. And I was constantly getting rejected because I had an arrest record from when I was younger. But I was like, oh, if I stay in California, for some reason I have a better likelihood of it working out, even though that's like a dumb approach, but I'll be able to train all day. I'll be able to like work, do all these things.
Because of the weather. And because
the weather, Coronado's super close. You know what I mean? Even though I like literally only went there years after with some of my other friends who were in Buds. But I had like a SEAL mentor that was helping, another guy that was helping me out, like other people, but I didn't have any real recommendations. I never went anywhere with that. You know what I mean? And
but that was a big thing for you, right? You really wanted to be part of the military.
What
Right?
is Buds?
Military. It's like the Navy SEAL training.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know shit.
For school for Navy SEALs.
Oh, cool.
Basically on the water demolition school.
How hard is it to get into Buds?
I mean, like 7,500 people try out, 200 people get accepted, but like they're gonna want like an Italian kid with fucking been arrested 21 times.
Hell yeah,
You know
you
what I
would
mean?
be
From
the
Bronx.
I would rather get a fucking guy from the Bronx that's been through it all rather than some kid that I got to fucking take a guess on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the problem is you send that guy from the Bronx out there to another country, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, all these people are selling all this and that. And like, all right, let's see if we can bring some of this stuff back with us. And like, that's the problem they have with sending people with.
Do you think that they have? do you think?
It's like, whoa, we can make some money here.
Do you? Well, this is kind of like an obvious answer to this, but do you think the reason why they have an issue is because they can't trust the person because they see how slick you are because of like of that?
Yeah,
do you think that's the reason? Because they're like, oh, he might conspire against us, or what do you think is why would that be an issue? To me, it's like, oh shit, this guy got stripes. He's got an experience. He's not scared.
Yeah.
He knows how to function under pressure. To me, these are all like A+. But I guess the government.
Like how quick would you have set up shop over there?
Oh, I would have had everybody working for me.
That's what I mean. So they made
It's like, I know we got to do this mission during the day, but like at night, we're going to go make money.
Yeah.
Like we are 100% making money. If these fucking morons out here with no education can make money, we're going to make money here.
How old were you when you first started, like when you saw like your first, like, I don't know, 100,000?
I was a teenager.
So you were very business savvy early on.
Super early. I mean, it was the only thing I wanted to do. It was the only thing. I mean, I come from the Bronx, New York, obviously. I wouldn't say the Bronx is different than Brooklyn because it's fucking horrible parts of Brooklyn. You know what I mean? There's shitty parts of Brooklyn.
Bronx is bad.
The Bronx is predominantly whack. You know what I mean? Like nothing.
Like,
really.
what do you know about the Bronx? Do you know any restaurants in the Bronx?
I used to just crash at a bartender's house there.
Where?
Really?
I don't remember where in the Bronx. He was our bartender at Caroline's I don't know why I just did this. He was such a creepy bartender. He was a bartender at Caroline's Comedy Club, and I would crash with him when I had no place to stay.
If he was
We would go
creepy,
to the
then
Bronx.
what were you doing there?
Oh,
He likes creepy people.
No, because he was hilarious because he would just like be like such a sexual deviant at the bar, and he used to put like the lime in the Corona and go like that over it to like show girls how he could like play with her clit. And that's the only thing I remember.
So Kirill's background is a lot of comedy. Like he came from what? You came from the creative side of like graphics, comedy.
Yeah. I just did like graphic design, photography for like comedy clubs and shit in New York.
Yeah.
Until I did all my dumb party shit.
Yeah.
And then this.
And then he turned that into like a career for as far as like
Yeah. But I escaped the New York life, which is crazy because here, like we always talk about it, like you guys literally talk in like a foreign language.
What do you mean by that?
It's so great, right? Like I only grew up 20 miles away from you guys in Jersey. I grew up in Jersey.
Where?
When I was 6, I came to America. When I was 9, we left Brooklyn straight to Jersey. Like Roxbury, you wouldn't know where that is. It's like near Morristown.
I know what Morristown is. There's a strip of bars in Morristown.
Yeah. So I grew up like 20 minutes from there further in. So I grew up pretty suburban, you know.
But he wanted to escape that, so you ran off to New York.
Yeah, but
right?
I would go to the city. But my city culture wasn't like, I wasn't in the streets like you guys are, right? Like you guys have your own vernacular. You know, you guys are...
Just use the word vernacular shows that he's above our vernacular.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just his vernacular.
Well, you know, I was just
saying that my vocab is not up to par with his. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, you used the term ossified, so I knew you were a scholar.
No, I think Vince. I think you definitely not some like regular New York Bronx guy though. The way you speak, you have some very good English going on there.
It's funny you bring up Morristown. I had a group of kids who used to work for me. And their friends and friends and friends would come work for me, and every single one of them were equally as stupid. Like equally across the board, like the type of guy that like you would invite to your grandmother's house and they would back up into her garage. And like with like the beeping sound, like you'd be like, why did you hit the garage? You'd be like, oh, and like, whatever, just come inside. You know what I mean? Like that like type of thing. And I went one night to the bars of Morristown and I was like, it is crazy. This is only like 20 miles away. But it feels like a whole different world.
Yeah, like people have sex with these guys.
Yeah, like
this is like who's making more of these people?
Yeah.
We grow up around a lot of competition, whether it's physical, wits, money, everything. Right? It's so concentrated in Brooklyn, New York, and all that. So you have to be very sharp and on point, and you got to be like you said. You got to be on speed. You got to be like 1,000 miles ahead because everyone's playing games. Everyone's always trying to like beat somebody on something. There's always kind of trickery. In suburbia in Jersey, nobody's really...
It's the most densely populated state.
It might be dense populated, but it's spread out. There's not a lot to watch out for.
Tiny state.
People get stressed out in traffic. Yeah. Jersey guys get stressed out parking the car in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So it's like, they're not as stressed. The versatility is just not there as far as like getting things done.
There's an advantage to growing up, especially, I wouldn't say the street, but like, having to always be aware of your surroundings, having to always be aware, and then also the slickness. These kids now I see 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, I'm like, phew. By 11, I was borderline on my own. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'd already caught my first case by 11. You know, like, I was fighting a case, I was going to go to jail. So I'm like, it was a much different upbringing there, and it gave you an edge. But now it could also be a downfall because you really can't, like you said, you get very frustrated with other people. You have to just accept that you move at a speed. You're driving a NASCAR race car, and they're all driving Hondas.
I know.
And you're getting mad they're not getting out of the way.
No, yeah.
You know?
It's tough.
I used to talk about when I moved to California, when I opened Hubble, it was like playing basketball with people against that were blindfolded. Now, I'm not good at basketball, but I play very rough. And as long as you don't, you know, travel with the ball and you like don't just put it out there where somebody can grab it, you could win just like moving around them because they're blindfolded.
Right.
They don't show up on time.
Yeah, this town is the worst.
They really don't care about committing to what they say they're going to do. You know what I mean? And nor do they go out and research to be the best at what they do. When in New York, you have a lot of competition. Even being from Jersey, you're right there. So everything you're going to do is 20 minutes away in the city.
Right.
You have the most global impact city in the world in New York. And I truly believe that.
He's a combination of both because his whole thing is like, how do I avoid dealing with all these idiots and come up with a smart system to get past everybody? So he has the smarts to be like, all right, I don't want to deal with all of this. How do I avoid all of it? How do I just jump over and just do something smarter and something slicker?
I have no idea what you just
Marketing.
said. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Your thing is marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I just sell things. That's it.
Isn't that much better? Isn't that much faster? Or
Then what?
You avoid all dealing with the morons.
Yeah, I mean, I have to deal with the morons every day.
What is the biggest struggle in your business?
Dealing with morons.
But like
Literally.
what? But give me like an example.
The biggest struggle in my day actually is not dealing with morons. It's dealing with the algorithm. It's just dealing with social media. Because so much of our business relies on it.
Right.
Like, you guys don't really struggle with that, right? Do you? Do you have to?
You know, if we were better at it, we'd be able to capitalize on a whole new level. Like Hubble Agency creates assets and marketable assets, but we don't digitally advertise. Right. So I actually just started in talks with the guy from Hawk Agency. You know, Eric from Hawk Agency? Huge agency. They're like probably one of the biggest digital advertising companies, I would say, in the country right now. They basically shoot the ammunition that we develop. Well, we're going to work together.
Right. You
but
guys produce all the content and they find a home
but we're
for
not
it.
shooting it. Yeah, I mean, we're not targeting where it's going or how it's going or determining the wind and this and that, and that's the algorithm. But now the algorithm is manipulated based on morons. I mean, the way they perceive morons to retain information.
Oh, yeah.
You're still dealing with morons, even though you're dealing with the algorithm.
But the fact that you didn't have to battle the algorithm to be able to get high profile people into your space is pretty creative also.
Well, we target it in the sense that like we provide the best service. And I look at companies like the Beverly Hills Hotel, for instance, isn't the nicest hotel, isn't the newest, it's very old, but the service is just A1, and the service instills a feeling and a culture. And when I tell people all the time, you're in the service industry, they're like, no, I'm not. I'm like, but you are. Because you're providing a service, and how someone feels when they shake your hand, this and that. I went to the Lamborghini dealership recently, and I said, I'll outsell all you guys on cars. And they said, oh, how so? How you ever sold cars? I said, no. I said, number one, I said, the first thing you should do when someone walks in is offer them sparkling or flat water. Just the fact that you give them the decision right there to make a decision and give them an option is the first thing. Shows your attention to detail, shows your consideration for them. I said, nobody even offered me a bottle of water.
Also, I'm here to buy a Lambo. Like, you should be giving me anything.
Like, you walk into Chanel, you get offered a sparkling or flat water. Follow what any designer brand is doing.
Costco gives you free samples.
Yeah, exactly. And Costco's got it nailed down. They give you free samples. You're trying all these new things. You'll go there just for the free samples.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to buy shit, obviously. You know what I mean? The reason why Hubble did very well right off the bat was A, I committed to what I was going to do. B, whether it was 5 a.m. we were shooting a shoot for Ariana Grande or a Disney shoot, they needed the green screen when I had no idea what type of Keatone green we needed, and I just went to Home Depot and bought it. You know what I mean? Like, completely just pulled it off. Over time, I started to realize, none of these people really know what they were doing.
That's what I realized.
Yeah.
Everything gets put last second. Like the people just show up. Some of these people work with these corporate companies, and I see some of the stuff they do. Even my girl, she does makeup stuff with all these brands. They show up, they hire this random person. They don't know anything about them. They're like, oh, just shoot some content for us.
Because no one's invested, right? Everyone else is just getting a check from like upper management. Dude, I did a Hennessy event once. I used to do all of Hennessy's photography, and I show up. Look at my calendar. I'm like, all right, I get to the hotel. I flew from New York to LA for this event. I get there the day early. The next morning, I text everybody. I'm like, hey, I'm here for the walkthrough of the space. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean? I was like, I have an itinerary. Like, oh, fuck, Kirill. We moved the event to next week. I was like, are you guys shitting me? Like, and they don't care. So they were like, oh, just can you just stay in the hotel for a week? We'll pay for everything, eat whatever you want. And I was like, all right, great. But it's just like, it's not her money, right? The girl who fucked up is like, this is $1 billion corporation fronting it. So people don't even care because they don't, most people feel underpaid and undervalued, right? Most of the time when they're in the system. So it's like, you just get a lot of redundancies.
A ton of redundancies. Even just now when I walked in, I looked at the lighting on the screen and I said, wow, I've been on a bunch of podcasts. This definitely one of the best lighting. Now, do I really think that this fucking kid right here is a descendant of Walt Disney? No. But he figured out, said, wow, this looks good. You know what I mean? It looks nice in the middle and everybody looks great. Don't touch it.
It's clean.
Yeah. I may not be able to make it happen again. You know? But
and it's funny because Kirill, we were trying to figure out different light positions.
This is a year.
Yeah.
Of all so many different sets and then boiled down to, let's sit in a triangle.
Yeah, we tried bringing so many things in, and then one day Kirill showed up frustrated. He's like, all right, this is fucking gross. He's like, this is disgusting. It's not clean. He's like, I don't care if there's anything cool in the background. Let's just make this look clean. But everything is just trial and error. But
the truth is, it works. Right. And I'm on set every day. I see stuff, and for me to see that, and I'm like, wow, it came out good. Like, it looks really good. And I don't really say that a lot.
It's good that you said that.
Yeah.
I usually don't compliment just for fun.
Yeah. I look at people's stuff.
That's the only compliment they're getting.
Yeah. I look at stuff. I'm like, ooh, that could have been done this. Ooh, this could have been done that. But I'm like, you know what? This looks deep. It looks like something I would watch. It looks like something I would listen to. You know what I mean? And as the quality's there.
Did they tell you something to say this?
No, I swear to God.
Because it's like, when your mom was like mid beating you and then someone comes over and like starts complimenting you and you're like, oh, and your mom's just like, I can't wait to fucking hit you again after this. Like, you don't deserve these compliments.
I have a feeling the thing is with Vince, I don't know you for a long time, but from how Aviv preps me and how people talk, I'm like, I'm like, if you didn't like this, I think you would just walk off. Like you have the personality to just be like,
I would just be like, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm not going to say anything.
Like, I didn't sign anything,
Like,
so
I didn't tell you that the kid is a genius. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know him. I don't even know if he speaks English. When he said hello, he said,
No.
Yeah, that was it.
No. Aaron is good. He keeps it together for us. He shows up. That's what I care about. You know, he's on time.
Exactly.
He's on point. That's what matters. But yeah, I mean, but running all these brands and all these businesses, how are you on 100 every day? Like, what is it? What is it? Is it because like you just have that competitive nature and you're just kind of like, I got to get this done. I got to build this. I'm too far in. Or is it something that fuels you every day? Like, what is it? What is your reason why? From a guy like you.
My friend just came home. He did 12 years. And he was talking about me. And he was like, you know, to watch you come from a broken home and where you got. And I'm like, oh, man, like, I never really heard it like that. Like I said, I came from a broken home. And then, like, me and my sister had a conversation. I have a twin sister. We're the only people left in our family. Like, as far as, like, us or whatever. She's like, well, this happened, and this wasn't that bad. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you're going to remember what went on. And I was like, and we also didn't live together for a very long time as kids, and, like, the things we had to put up with and getting left behind as a kid and other stuff. And it's like, when you make a kid's life so hard and he loses that ability to be a kid, and you make him feel second class and he's always led to believe he's second class, it's like, no, like, I'm going to fucking outwork you every day. I'm going to outwork you. Everybody that doubted me, everybody in the studio business said, oh, this kid's a drug dealer and he's just a gangster and this and that. Like, he's doing this. And I said, all right, cool. We'll see. And everybody that doubted me when even when I got into the legal cannabis side, oh, there's no money in this, or this and that. These people came from private equity, and this came from that. Cool. And 99% of them out of business. Yeah. And I'm still here. You know what I mean? And everyone that doubted me from every aspect of what I did, even when I started doing CrossFit, like from, the lack in athleticism, a lack in this, a lack in that. Like, okay, cool. You know, I didn't have a chip on my shoulder because, to have a chip on your shoulder, you have to assume that people care. And my father convinced me at a young age that nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? And you got to take care of yourself. So now that my parents are gone and I don't have any family, there is that drive in the back of my head. Like, I'm the last Ricci. I'm an Italian-American from the Bronx, New York. I'm very proud of that. And I will outwork fucking everybody. Right. And it will be... Literally, we could end up in hell together, and I'm still going to be willing to go.
You're still going to be kicking inside that fucking tombstone.
I'm still going to be willing to go where I'm like, yo, it's me against you. It's head-to-head. It's not the person in particular that I want to beat. It's the fact that there's always a mountain to climb, and what makes it even more fun is when somebody else is trying to climb from the other side.
He's on the opposite end, I think, very similar to you, except he doesn't have the same story, but he likes when he gets shut down from a corner. And then to him, it's the game of like, how do I get back in the game without anybody ever telling me that they're going to be my boss or dictating my future.
How many hours a day do you sleep?
Probably a solid 4 to 5.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to make you more relatable for a second. Just because that's not a lot.
Nah.
You wake up, you work out.
No, I wake up because now I have a daughter.
Okay.
I wake up, start the day, take the daughter, I change her, I wake her up, but I immediately on go mode for like work.
You're putting out fires?
Yeah, from my phone, checking my phone.
Is owning a business interesting, or is it a lot of putting out fires?
A lot of putting out fires.
It's just mainly dealing with morons.
It's you have 100-something morons that work for you, literally. And somebody asked me recently, after I had a daughter, she was like, oh, it's so nice to know you have to care for somebody else. I said, care for somebody else? I said, I took care of both my parents. I was my father's hospice nurse. I said, I've been taking care of people. I said, I have over 100 employees, been had it. I care for every single one of them. And I also could completely disregard them. If they aren't on the team, they're out. I don't care to keep them on the team. I care about the team. But I care about their families. I care about the people who train as kids. I care about it. Am I going to lose sleep whether or not this fucking moron gets drunk and doesn't show up to work? No. Fire him. I never will think about him again. You know what I mean? But if you're here to ride with us, I'm here to ride for you. So I do care about them. So a lot of it is managing every little thing. This guy did this and this one did this and these two people are going to have a problem at work. And from every little aspect, it is a lot of managing people. And that's a whole new talent, is managing people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's all that the entire talent of being a CEO is taking very limited amount of information from a higher level perspective and making a utilitarian decision with what is the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. And also keeping fiduciary duty to the company that I'm making the best decision for the company to move forward, for the culture of the company, for the finances of the company, for the sale of the company, for the long-term benefit of the company, what solves all these things, and still somehow manage to keep a little hair on my head and a little less my nervous system in shock all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? How do I manage that?
Kirill says the same thing. It's just like he's just putting out fires all day long. You got like 300 workers in fucking your warehouse.
It's well, because I came in from an arts background, so none of this is interesting to me, right? Like, yeah, it's cool to own a company, but like the inner workings of it don't
suck.
Like, it's fun to be like, oh my God, look what we have. Well, I'll show it off, but I don't. That is the most soul crushing thing ever, especially when you're just used to being creative.
Yeah.
Right, because when I used to just do parties, it was just all me. I was a party of one, I was a company of one, so it was like there's no overhead. I just got to be me, and that's silly. But there's really no longevity in that because
it's only on you.
Yeah, that's me. So then when I started Assholes Live Forever, it became a company. So then it just became like, oh my God, like how are you supposed to not worry about the inner workings of the company, and then like 2 seconds later be like, all right, and let's make some funny reels and see if we can sell some merchandise. It's really fucking
it's a weird balance.
And you got to be able to turn it on and off.
Oh yeah,
because he's the face too, right? So it's like you got to be the showman and you got to be the businessman. And like you said, coming from a background where you weren't really hustling.
Dude, but I'll tell you what, my sister has a corporate job at she worked her way up. She's 27. I went to her house this weekend. She bought her own house
in Jersey.
Morristown.
Quiet life, Morristown. Quiet life. I'm sitting there smoking a joint. I'm like, man, did I just do all this wrong? Because I'm like, she's 27. She's got a house. She's got a fiance. She's gay, so she's got that against her. But she's got a fiance. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, dude, this is so much better than stressing about any of this other shit. I'm like, God damn it! Like I should have just gone to school. I think.
But you see, what fires somebody like Vince from I'm just assuming is that. Yes, the fires are annoying. Yes, the fucking upkeeping the nervous system, making sure you have the hair. But the fulfillment that comes from is when you score. You're like,
right, high risk, high reward. Right, like it's a very high risk you take, but you're,
you know what it is.
Optimistic about the reward.
We're talking about Dan Fleischman. He said this on an interview that I was sitting on the side of. I love the game. I love the game so much. I love it. It makes me feel alive. I love lawsuits. I love battles. I love adversaries.
He hates lawsuits.
I mean, listen, no one really likes lawsuits. I'm not like, I got fucking sued. Like I just found $20. But it is, I like winning.
Right.
The game of winning, you have to be willing to play to be willing to win.
It's kind of like do you see the Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine documentary?
No.
And they said like their entire business changed when they made fear a tailwind, where they're like, fear never leaves, but it should never push against you. It should push you forward.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, yeah, I definitely don't like lawsuits, but like we still go through them, right? Like we don't run from them. All our April Fool's pranks, like terrifying. I faked my own death 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To sell out his whole warehouse.
Yeah, to sell out our warehouse. It was literally the biggest week of sales we've ever done, right? But it's just like, once you pull that trigger, I wasn't like, oh my God, let's undo this all. I just had to sit there for a week and watch as everyone thought I was dead. Oh, so good though.
But your brand is built on that. Your brand is built on shits and giggles and wit and fucking let's fuck.
That's all I got.
But think about it like this. So you got your sister, lives in this house with her partner. They, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, you can do whatever you want. She'll be married to a seahorse. It doesn't matter to me. But in Morristown, New Jersey, where nobody in the world gives a shit about, now you inspire other people to make comedy. You inspire other people to be creative. You inspire people to feel happy, even when they're down. People turn to you and look at your content. on people's worst days that they have to bury the people around them that they feel the lowest, you'll crack a smile out of them. You impact people's life so that if you did die, you see how they react. So now you already know.
Right.
Second time is not going to be like this.
You're a very optimistic gangster.
Yeah.
Because I'm over here like, fuck everyone. I don't care about, whoa, I inspire a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, but Kirill, that's also bullshit, though. You do enjoy it.
No, of course I enjoy it.
Stop it.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
You love it.
You know what? There's days where I'm like, oh my God, that's it. Everything's over. My life's a failure. And then like someone just stops you and they're like, oh, I like your shit. I'm like, okay, still got it. Maybe I'll be able to pay my bills.
Brother, I see your shirts everywhere. You go to Joshua Tree, everybody's wearing your shirt.
Well, that's my demo.
Who cares? They're wearing it, right? That's what matters to me. We're at a coffee
senior citizen gay guys.
Yeah, gay senior citizens are
big demo for you guys.
Can we talk about the one thing that I wanted to talk about?
Yes.
That Val is too scared to bring up.
I'm not scared.
I think Val is very terrified of you.
No.
I'm just saying that.
I brought Vince here so that we can, get your T levels going.
Oh yeah.
I brought him here so your T levels can spike up a little bit.
Oh yeah. You had like your very own John Wick moment.
Yeah.
And it was, it's fucking dope. It was fucking dope.
I'm a big fan. I honestly, I don't know. Everyone's like,
Val came in here, literally almost ripped all his clothes off. He's like, you guys see this video.
I'm going nuts for this video, right? Everybody in New York is like, oh, I would have done this. Because you know how New York guys, everybody's always the man, everyone's the best. And I'm like this. I straight look at people's grill and I'm like, what the fuck would have you done? I said, you gotta watch this video. And people, all the New York guys get so like, everyone's competitive. And
because it's easy to have that argument in the shower with yourself, right? And you're like, this is what I would have done.
And I look at their grills and I'm like, you're not about this. I said, let me see what's going on here.
If you guys can't, just Google what can we Google real quick?
So, Cook, stop right here, right? So, this right here, this
so people are listening to this. What can they Google? What'd you Google?
Homeowner exchanged gunfire with suspect during home invasion.
But in Los Angeles.
Just Google
shooting.
Yes. Vince Ricci
shooting.
So, hold on. Right now, guys, whoever's listening to this on audio, we're at a part of the video where Vince is approaching the door to his house. Okay, so he has. What do you have? A coffee, a tea. He has a tea in his hand. From what I understand, you were coming back from a workout or something, right, or a meeting or whatever. So he's coming back from a workout. He's about to open the door to his home, and continue the video, please, Aaron. Boom! You got a gunman running up on Vince. Instant reaction.
I don't even know where you pulled that gun out of.
Gun gets drawn. Bullets start flying. See you later, alligator. Runs after them. Doesn't even go back to his house. They thought he's done. He's not done. He's going. Boom. Full crazy moment. The gunmen are running back. One ran back to the house after you went to the car?
He ran around and he actually... The other one ran around to the side for safety. Then that's when I ran to the left to make sure I checked the gun. It's actually funny. I told this girl, don't record on my block. And she recorded right on my block, the news lady, but whatever.
Can you run us through the story? Obviously, me explaining this, watching the videos a little bit.
What's happening? What's happening here?
So I was coming home. I actually just did 400 calories in the assault bike. Horrible workout. In the midst of other workouts, so I was shot. And my boy Mitch was coming to my house to run 4 miles with me. He wanted to run. I was like, I'll run with you. Just come to my house and get me. So I pull up. My girl was there. She was just about to put the baby to sleep. And they were inside. And I'm like contemplating whether or not I'm going to feed the plants outside. That's literally what was going through my head. And I was just on the phone with my sister. So my earpods were on from the gym. And it went back to... I was either listening to, at the time I was listening to Machiavelli, the book, The Prince. You know about that book, right? Well, whatever. We'll talk about it after. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know. What are you talking about right now? It's a book.
The book is called The Prince. It's about
Tupac. I only know about Tupac.
It's interesting because...
He thought you were talking about Tupac just now.
Yeah. I was like, Machiavelli.
Tupac raps about Machiavelli. Machiavelli is basically like the scene in Bronx Tale when he talks about Machiavelli and he says, would you rather be loved than feared? So it was about...
Right.
The book, The Prince, was written about his guiding the prince, the young prince, as to all these different scenes that created power. And how do you create power? And a lot of the times you create power by fear. And that was what I was actually listening to at the time, which was interesting.
You just had an audiobook in your ear as you're firing?
Yo, it's crazy. Everyone's like, "Oh, what'd you hear?" I said, "I didn't hear anything because my noise cancellation was on." Yeah, but no, my sister called and we spoke the whole way home. And as I was getting in the car, I said, "I'll call you back later, Maria. I'm going in the house." And then the audiobook went on, and that's when I was contemplating with my keys. Do I water the plants? So I go inside and get my balls broken. You know what I mean, what should I do? And as I'm like, you know what? Let me go put my tea down, put my stuff down, and go back outside. I see a reflection in the mirror at the last minute. I see somebody running up, and I thought it was Mitch. I was like, what is this kid, a moron? Is it a moron like this? So I turn to look back, just as I'm going to scold him verbally, like, what are you, stupid? I realize it's not him. And I see the mask, and I see the gun right to my back. And now it's at my chest. As I turn around, I'm like, oh, damn. Like I said before, like I've obviously, like, my dream my whole life was to be an operator in the military and all these things. So I used to listen to a lot of different interviews, different stuff. And I'd hear people talk about, like, whether when they were in Mogadishu or other places, they accepted they were going to die. And I would think that it was all bullshit. And I would think that they were being, like, theatrical with it. Like, oh, that they didn't really think like that, blah, blah, you know, like whatever. And it is 100% true. Your sympathetic nervous system kicks in and, like, slows time down. And I was like, damn, man. I seen him, I seen the gun, and then I seen the other guy running up, and then I couldn't really tell how many people were there. And I'm like, fuck, I'm fucked. And going in the house isn't an option because they're going to pistol whip me and they're going to abuse me. They're going to pistol my wife, my friend, the nanny's in there, the baby. This is going to be a nightmare.
So all of this split second thoughts.
Half a second.
All within seconds in my head. Literally, I like could like run through exactly what process of my memory went through like at that moment. And then I was like, fuck it. It's not worth it. It's not worth just saying okay right now and having to live with myself. So I hit him with the T, and I thought for some reason I was going to be able to take the gun from him. So when I went to try to swipe it, when I hit him with the T was scalding hot. So he definitely didn't like that. You know what I mean? He definitely didn't like that.
But I saw you kind of like almost like try to like.
Well, I went to throw it, he went to block it, so I just whacked the teacup, the rest of it in his face, to buy me some time. And then when he got too far from me, the other kid was just getting the gun out of the hoodie. I was like, damn, man, like if I jump on him, this kid's just going to smoke me from the side. And he's obviously going to shoot me.
You guys realize, by the way, just wanted to quickly say that all of these thoughts are happening in split seconds of time.
Yeah, I would be just diarrheaing. Like if I was there.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Like if.
Boom, you see that swipe? And he's like, uh-oh. Boom.
And this is when right now when I stop walking.
Dude, he's got the gun backwards at you.
I knew that he pointed it back at me. So right here, when I stop walking forward is when I realized, oh, damn, like if I keep charging, they're just both going to shoot me right now and I don't even have a fighting chance. So let me back up for a second. And that's when I said, fuck it. And I'll just start shooting.
Oh, wow.
And we all started shooting. And
you had a pretty good grip on the gun, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't even know where you pulled it out of.
My waist.
It looked like a fucking
I had it in my waist.
No, you saw that he calmly. You did it very.
I'm not gonna lie. That was the. At
You
the
drew
time,
that,
I didn't
like-
have a lot of practice at
Yo,
all.
how proud are you of that highlight reel, though?
Thank you.
Are you proud of that thing? That's literally the craziest thing ever.
I mean, dude.
I would have been. And shot.
I mean, it definitely, put it this way, it was the only option for it to work because I would have got smoked.
Oh, I
'Cause the
understand.
minute they would have seen it, I would have got dropped. They wouldn't have been running. They would have just, you know.
Did you know these characters?
No.
And you can wink if you did.
No.
I don't know if you didn't. I didn't know.
know
So
they
this
were.
was a random attack.
It had to be random because most people would have knew I was carrying.
Do you drive a nice car?
That time I was driving a Cullinan Rolls
So
Royce
they
truck.
followed you. It's because
I
this
didn't
whole
drive,
thing was
they
they
followed
follow people
Cullinan,
home,
yeah.
right? They see nice cars, they follow them home.
It's a big LA thing, yeah.
Yeah, but like if I'm following someone in a nice car home, I'm also looking at who is in the car,
are.
right? If there's like a
You are.
75-year-old like Jewish guy driving, I'd be like, we got this. I see you driving, I'm like, what are we? Why are we doing this?
But you
Yeah.
could tell those guys
very
were not ready
intimidating.
to shoot you on impact. They thought that you were gonna get
They
scared.
just wanted to
and
rob
back
her.
down.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do
most
it.
people don't want to use their gun, right?
That's not true. Some of these guys are stupid.
Yeah, but here's the thing is they both came with extra magazines.
Oh wow.
So
How did you know that?
Because they dropped them. They both dropped them as they were running.
Are they caught?
No. Yeah. They know who they are, but they're not caught. Listen, at the end of the days, I don't care if they get caught.
Do we have a bounty on their heads?
No, because I don't give a shit about these kids. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to go on doing whatever they're doing, and maybe their life will change, maybe they won't. But they ain't coming to my house. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm actually training a lot.
Really?
So like if that happened today, it would have been lights out.
Do you have a sign on your lawn that says protected by ADT, and now it's like protected by me?
By
Yeah.
Vince.
Just like, yo, protected by me.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. I wish I could make that
You
sign.
should just put up.
should.
You should just put
Protected
up.
by Vince
You
Ricci.
have the dough. Put a little screen out in the lawn, just looping that video, being like, "This is what happened to the last people."
Yeah. So
Beware of owner.
even as I ran, they kept shooting at me because when they both ran over the fence, they were still firing. So there was gunshots going off. I think 17 shots got fired all together. They found shells. So it was a lot of gunfire. As I was ducking down to reach-aim the gun to fix it, I'm like in my head, like one of these fucking morons are gonna fucking smash me or shoot me right in the head, and it's gonna be like lights out. And I was just waiting to feel it. And I literally said to myself, like, damn. But I did feel like proud, like, oh, I won round one. But I knew I was still in a fight. That's why I like went to run around the rest of the house and to run around the yard because I didn't know where else anybody else ran. I didn't know if they came with 5 people and I'm going to run down on people with guns.
Yeah. At what point did you know you were safe?
When I got back into the house and reloaded
Where was everyone? Huddled up somewhere?
in the house.
They didn't even hear?
No,
They
they
just have
heard
like
they,
music on?
hey, no, I'm not.
Imagine in the kitchen cooking fucking Sunday
They're like,
dinner.
"Dad,
It's like, babe, you came in. What are you doing, babe?
You're just in the lawn.
That would
No,
be my
they
girl,
were-
honestly. My girl would be like, Val, what's going on? I'd be like, are you
They
serious?
thought that somebody was banging on the door with a sledgehammer because the shots were hitting the side frame of the door.
Oh wow.
Oh, my God.
And it's a glass door in the middle. It shattered the door, but it stayed in place because this protective film that we have around the house. So it's like an anti-break-in film. Afterwards was definitely interesting when the cops came and a bunch of other stuff happened, but it's almost like one of those things where like I accepted I was going to die so seriously that when I ran in the house and I took my shirt off and I felt my stomach, because I thought he shot me in the stomach, and then I felt my legs, I stood up and I was like, I didn't get shot. I can't even believe I didn't get shot. I thought that 100% I was going to come in and find like,
Because you thought it was adrenaline and you were not going to feel like a wound right off the rib.
well, I mean, it was so much going on so fast.
And you saw the other guy went around to the other side. So
Yeah.
you noticed that when you backed
I
up
seen
into the
everything.
car.
Yeah, I seen everything.
Wow.
Yeah. After that shootout, if I came home, not a scratch, no scratches on you.
Not a scratch on me.
Good for you.
Oh my God, that would be intolerable at home.
Love it.
Oh.
No one will be able to listen. I would be like, I don't care what anyone has to say. Like I defended my home.
Yeah.
I would jerk off in the mirror. I would literally be like, you are all nothing without me.
Honestly,
Do you know? Can you
That's the
imagine
feeling it should
defending
be.
your family? Your girl can't
crazy?
ever say shit.
Nah, I don't
like,
give a fuck
you know
what
what
anybody
he
says.
does? You know what her boyfriend? It's like,
get all
really?
eat a dick. Everybody that fucking says anything about this, bro, to me, I don't even know Vince at that moment. I was walking around with this. I think I had the phone, like I had the video out on my phone. I'm like, everyone's watching this thing.
Oh yeah.
I was showcasing this
I was like,
video.
it was me. I was
flew
showing you
back
like
to-
it was me.
I flew. Yeah. Do you remember? I walked in. The first thing I did was show you the video. I said,
Yeah.
"You're watching this." I
Oh,
said, I don't care
I'm
what
like
media-
I'm like an echo. I'm like after he shows me, I start showing everyone. Like
Brother, I was walking around with this with the phone in Brooklyn. I said, "Yo, everybody that I'm meeting today and seeing in the shop." So we're putting this thing up on the barbershop.
you know what it is?
I had it replaying in the shop nonstop. I said, "This thing is
Right.
To me, it was amazing.
It's kind of like you're like Caitlin Clark to me, right? You're like a moment of white excellence,
Oh, thanks.
right? Like
not
everyone
only
talks
that,
about, you know, who Caitlin Clark is this chick who's like the best like WNBA player.
Yeah.
The white girl who everyone's giving a shit, and you're just like, dude, I don't know who she is. I don't care about WNBA, but damn, that's a white person like doing really good PR for us. And that's why we showed off your video, because I was like, yo, we have very rare chances where we look cool, and this is some fucking cool
This is some cool shit. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
normally
yeah.
we're doing something really bad.
Yeah, people definitely, everyone's kind of like, oh man, I would have done this, I would have done that. This guy didn't get shot. Did this guy get shot? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it becomes all these conversations. I said, brother. I said, you're afraid to even run around and fucking do 2 miles. You're talking about you would have done this, you would have done
Yeah.
that. To me, those conversations irritate the daylights out of me.
Yeah, I don't
have
pretend.
absolutely no tolerance to even listen to this.
Yeah, I don't.
So to me, I'm like, yo, if you're going to sit here and not understand the beauty of the situation, I said, I can't even speak to you. You know what I mean?
Right, but it's not even like, you know what, like, we'll continue sucking you off here for a second. But like, you know what it is? It's not even like, you did it so nonchalant that it was
Correct.
almost like, it's not even like a learned thing where it's just, you're just like, damn, that was like all reflex.
You know what? And that's when I talk about like the same thing about like why you work so hard. Because I had nothing else to lose. And at that moment, like any other option wouldn't have been worth living with. You know what I mean? And I didn't really have anything else to lose. But a lot of people don't like, you know, some other people like, oh, was it staged? Was this not? Like, do you think I need to do that to look cool?
Yeah, I do.
I'm cool.
I was literally sitting here.
He said, I know I'm cool.
I know I'm cool. Like, yeah, I mean, it is.
So
what it is.
next year, you don't mind if I fake getting attacked and shot for my April Fool's prank?
John Wick, everybody.
I'm just gonna be like,
People that definitely like are around Vince, that Vince sticks it to them and goes, shut the fuck. You know, like I'm sure Vince is like, you don't know, you don't. Yeah, I'm sure there's moments where Vince kind of like sticks it to them, and now they're like, fuck. And he had a shootout, and he got away with it, and he got someone. He's like, fuck. What am I gonna say to him now? You know what I mean? It's like,
yo, and it's crazy because you're right. Like, and they're so concerned with what I did. I'm like, yo, like I said, like I don't go to Booby Trap in Miami because I don't want to get shot. I don't go to Sam's down here because I don't want to get shot. I avoid places, not because I'm a pussy, but because I don't want trouble. When you hit that moment, like, it is what it is.
if trouble comes on my doorstep,
If it comes on my door, listen, it is what it is. I accepted dying a long time ago. You know, that person who grew up isn't here no more, and this is who's left, and this person who's left will not live with knowing that I didn't do what I had to do at that moment. And how would my wife look at me? How would other people around me look at me? I'm carrying a gun and I bowed down and let them in my house and let them abuse me. You know what I mean? Like, so
90% of people that carry would be like, yes.
I think 99. It
Yeah,
would be like, you know what I mean? Or what are they going to do? Because now you got to live with it after. And not that I care that I shot the kid, or not that I do not give a shit. You know what I mean? All you do is think about getting into those shootouts. All you do is think about, like, everyone's like, oh, your heart must have been racing, this and that. I'm like, no, I was actually super calm.
We can tell.
I was so calm. I was so, like, that's why even when I was ducking down, I was like, damn, I'm going to get fucking shot right in my head. And coming back from that, not that it's that big of a deal, because, like, you know, a lot of guys go to combat. Now I really understand. There's people who are built to be able to just accept what's going to happen. And there's people who don't glorify it or don't think like, oh, like, it is what it is. Like, not that don't glorify it, like all these other people that want to say about me, oh, I did this and that, blah, blah, he must be loving it. No, like, I did have a moment that night because I watched Black Hawk Down that night because I couldn't sleep. And I said to myself, damn, man, I was like, fuck, man.
dude,
I really would have did great if I did make it in the military, and wonder, could I fire when someone's firing at me? Would I have the balls to not duck for cover? Would I have the balls to do that? And I was like, when push came to shove, now I know in my heart I do. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, like, I'm 38. I'm too old now. You know what I mean? But it would have made sense.
passed the test.
Yeah, it would have worked. But, you know, I may not have survived. I may been really fucked up in the head.
I think you did more out here for us.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I do. I hope I'm making more of an impact.
You have, especially for...
You could have had a nice little operation overseas.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan.
I would have lived there. I would have had a whole poppy phone. No, I'm joking.
That's it. What was the fallout from it?
A lot of negativity. A lot of people, like, you know, a lot of my friends that kind of lean in a different direction. Not saying a different direction from me, just the complete opposite. Like, if they're not right-handed, they lean in the other direction.
Wait, there's people that were upset about the way you handled yourself?
Yeah, like one of my friends said something. He was like, oh, do I have to call a PR person and get in touch with you now? And I'm like, bro, you didn't ask how my family's doing, how my wife's doing. She was distraught for a while.
I just experienced an attempted murder.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and you're concerned with whether or not I'm on the news. Because I was on Fox.
Like, are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah. But these are people who, they only care about the optics of things. They don't actually care about you as a person or the impact you make.
But see, that's the problem. That's
exactly. That is the problem.
And also, you know, let me ask you, going hand in hand with you building the studio and being around these high-profile people, you have to care about the service and the optics and the business. And also, it seems like you care a lot about integrity.
Yeah.
How do you function in a society that only cares about optics?
It's easy. Because you're winning. You're always winning. You're always winning. It's like actually being the guy.
So you're okay with losing one high-profile person, and then you'll be like, no worries, I'll find another one.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, absolutely. Because listen, they're going to come to us because they know the service is there. At the end of the day, is they want to get their production done. They want to know that it's going to get taken care of, and they know that my team cares only about one thing: is the success of what happens today and guaranteeing what we say we're going to do. And you could yell, you could scream, you could make a scene, but we're always going to provide good service.
Has this shooting been good for business?
In the cannabis industry, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
You're like, oh, shit, all the bills are on time, paid on time now.
Yeah, 100%.
No one's skipping out on meetings.
That's what I mean.
Vince.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's more along the lines of like, I do what I say I'm going to do. And I would tell Roy all the time, like, yo, I ain't getting robbed, bro. Like, man, very simple. Like, if these people, they're going to follow me a house, they're going to have another thing coming. I'm not getting robbed. Like, I'm putting it out there. Like, all these people that against, like, all these guys in the cannabis industry, all these guys in entertainment, all these people, this, and that. Some other guy I seen one time was like, oh, yeah, the same thing happened to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, not really, but, like, you kind of just got beat up, and then, like, they didn't get your stuff, but, like, you just got smacked around with a gun. Like, you didn't actually do anything. Like,
the logistics of it, right?
Yeah, like, it's completely different. Now, does it make a difference what I did for who I am? No. It improved my heart a little bit. Like, you know, I sparred this guy one time. He was 23-1 as a pro, and my father was there. There was like 50, 60 people in the gym, and I was getting washed. I went round 9 with him. I went round robin with 3 other fighters, and I was going round 9 with him. And I remember I was getting just outclassed the whole round and getting like worked. And I was like, yo, I don't even know what to do. And I was as sharp as I was as a boxer at the time. And I remember hearing my trainer, Aaron Davis, yell like, punch when he's punching. Just stand there and punch when he's punching. Like, there's nothing else is working. He didn't say like slowly. He just yelled punch when he's punching. And I cut him off on the ropes, and the 30-second bell rang. Because, like, you know, in regular boxing and fights, the knock is 10 seconds, but in sparring it's 30. And I was like, fuck it. And we just went to war for 30 seconds. And he didn't get off the ropes. And I just kept cutting him off, and I just let off when he let off. And, like, didn't back me up an inch. And went to war, and my father, like, I got out of the ring, my father was tearing, and that was the proudest moment he ever had in me in boxing. It was like the best moment in boxing, and there was a bunch of people there, a bunch of people started clapping, and I remember being like, damn, like, I could do it.
It's that feeling of like,
I could fight when it's time.
You just like going back at something when you feel like you got nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that right there is what builds character.
Yeah.
That's why you have that character. That's why you have that character where you're very proud. You care about victory, you care about coming out on top, and that's where you enjoy, like you said, the fight. You enjoy problem solving, you enjoy winning. It's good. Do you feel? I feel like, you know what my issue is? I grew up like following characters like this, but I feel like nowadays it's like it's okay to be proud, to be a loser, to be a victim, to be this, to be that. And I just don't understand where this is all coming from.
Yeah, but guess what? Those people are going to develop a soft times. Is going to develop like hard times. Obviously, I mean, these soft people are going to develop hard times. Yeah,
all the kids are growing up like.
Because it's a personality type.
Sorry,
being a victim is a personality type now, right? Someone, instead of like, everyone used to be proud of everything they overcame. Now everyone's proud of like, this is how I'm offended and this is how it makes me feel, versus like I overcame something.
But even you, right? Like you have hardcore jokes. You got jokes that can hit anybody every day.
Yeah, so?
And everybody cries, right? Ban the post and flag this and flag that. It's not fun. How's that fun? What do we?
Well, it's just it's a fucking gay society. It's so dumb.
Yeah, but it's just
so dumb. It's so dumb that you can't say whatever you want to say, especially when none of it's hate speech. Like, I understand, fine, you want to say some like outlandish shit, like, okay, but even then, you're like, that's what that amendment protects, is uncomfortable speech, not Dr. Seuss, right? It's there to protect me from making,
correct
a joke.
Well, it's also too, as long as you don't infringe on anybody else's ability to be happy. It's no matter what you say is okay.
Yeah,
you
well,
can say
what's happy, right? And
well,
it's like, also, if you're like, yo, your shirt's ugly, that infringes on my happiness, right? And now, what is that, hate speech? But according to the world, that's hate speech now. If you're like, yo, your shit's ugly, right? And you're like, well, now I'm sad inside. Now I need to have a mental health day.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, Tim Dillon, do you know Tim Dillon?
No.
He's a comedian, podcaster. He talks about it. He talks about this thing. He's like, it's actually genius. He's like, I actually have to respect today's society because they're playing the game against all the employers. Because he's like, everyone's been like treated like shit their entire life as like grunt employees, and now these kids are for the first time ever coming up with mental health days because I felt gay today, I'm not going to work. He's like, they're literally playing the game.
Yeah, they're trying
against
to
all
basically just correct.
Just scheme their system. They might not even believe any of this, but they're like, yo, this will help me get out of. I don't want to work today. Oh, I'm gay today.
It's weakness. It's just weakness.
But imagine for the people who want to work hard, this is who they're competing with.
Yeah, it's the best, isn't it? Don't you want these people around?
For the
I
future
want them
entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
More idiots.
Dude.
More fucking idiots.
My God,
why not?
right.
I could just then pigeonhole you to work for me, and then put you in a certain area where maybe you together could do something. You know what I mean? Maybe,
Right.
maybe. And if not, get rid of you too. You know what I mean?
Dude.
But the truth is, it doesn't matter. You want to know why? Because those people don't make a difference. Because if they wake up a month from now, the world doesn't change. But if you don't wake up for a month, people are going to wonder where the hell you are. You already see how they reacted when they thought you died.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, we do need those people, right? You do need people who push back.
And they're useless.
And they are useless.
Yeah.
They're essentially useless.
You need doorstops. You need tampons. You need tissues.
Yeah.
You know, these are things that you do need. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't mean to say it in a bad way, but the truth is everyone serves a purpose. Not everybody's meant to be the best. And that's why I listen to a lot of these people talk about entrepreneurship and all these other things. Like, oh, you could do this and that. I'm like, I want to get on stage and be like, no, you can't. You can't. Yes, you're here. Maybe you aspire to want to do more. Maybe you will do more than you are. But unless you are willing to break your ass for the next 10 years and constantly get knocked down, it ain't going to work. And if you're that person, just know that 99% of people around you will quit before you get there. These kids these days, if they're already victimizing themselves anyway, they're going to quit. So just be like, cool, all I have to do is outrun you. Like, you're way faster than me. You ran a marathon. In my head, like, if I had to beat you in some sort of running thing, I would just either do something that slowed you down completely, like add heavy weights in, or just set it to where you don't know the outcome. And I would mentally beat you.
Right.
Because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Like, how long are we running, where are we running, this and that. And you're going to be beating yourself up so much mentally that you're way better physical runner shape than I am. But the fact that
you'll come up with a system with, and then you'll be okay to sacrifice completely.
I would have to be okay with sacrificing completely to know at some point you're gonna be like, yo, fuck this, I'm quitting. I gotta fucking run 3 days from now. I gotta do the podcast tomorrow. Like, this guy's fucking nuts. Then I'm like, cool, I outran you.
Right, but that's what it is. That's what it takes. You got to be sick. A little bit.
You got to be.
You got to be obsessed. You got to be. You got to be a sicko a little bit.
What are some of your proudest failures? Because it's like a lot of people come on here and, you know, we talk a big game with everyone, but people don't understand that the road to success is littered with constant failures as well, right?
Definitely different moments in the cannabis industry where I was like, oh, this time I'm not getting away with this, and I'm gonna go down, and you get that chills, and you get that way, like, damn, like the world is mounting, like it's insurmountable amount of stuff against you, and it's mounting against you. You know, like everybody looks at success like it's like a hockey stick. You know, whether it's like, you know, a 10-year graph and it goes like that, or it's fucking 5 years or whatever it is. You don't realize that your life is doing this the whole time. You know what I mean? So you talk about those lulls and those moments. Some of those moments are not failures. They're just the hard fucking reality of life. Like, my mother got sick. She got so sick at the end, and I was back and forth to New York. Watch this person just fucking completely just, you know, just die. You know, you start to die over time. And you're at this low moment, but I trained so hard. I ran 5 miles every night with a 40-pound vest in the snow in New York. Like, I was just, like, I guess if you went, like, on the curve, like, business was going up, but, like, my life was just down here. It just got colder and harder, like, burnt, like, crisp. Where by the time I came out of it and started climbing up, I don't know if I ever really climbed back up for a long time. You know, and then my father, a year and a half later, got sick, and I was just starting to come out of that. Literally just starting to be able to deal with it, where I was like accepting it. You know what I mean? Where I was like, damn, like the whole reason why I worked so hard is gone. And all these things, and I was just starting to deal with it. Boom, this guy gets fucking liver cancer, and we're going into COVID. I can't get a fucking nurse, so I have to hire the girl that works at Starbucks. This little Indian girl that said she was going to school for nursing. Whether or not she lied or she was telling the truth, I hired her. And she was staying at my house at night to stay with my dad so I can go to the gym. Doing all the disgusting things that you have to do. And in the interim, while he's sleeping, I'm cleaning his house. I'm cleaning his apartment. Cleaning everything because I don't know what else to do. The hardest times were less of a failure and more of like, I didn't make a fucking decision that led to this. It just happened. it was just bestowed on me. This is when it was going to happen. And it was, he died March 11, 2020. We went to lockdown March 16th. I buried him on March 14th. And the day he died, I thought I was going to blow my brains out because I worked so hard to make things better for them.
And you weren't done giving back.
And I wasn't done just about creating this life. I just convinced this guy to move to an apartment in LA so I could take care of him. I literally just convinced him that I was in January to move in, and he fucking got sick 2 weeks later. And I'm like, damn, like how the fuck did that happen so fast? And I felt super empty, super down. So now I'm like, just as I was climbing out and the business is going up, just as I'm climbing out, I fucking went lower and like submersed into water that was cold.
Is it obvious to the people around you?
Whatever light I had left inside my eye as a child blew out. Like it was like an empty shell of a person. To the point that March 11th, at 12 o'clock, I went to the hospital, took his chain off, seen him, he was dead, and then made the funeral arrangements, everything super quick, because I had already done that before for my mother, so I was like, all right, boom, boom. And I was like, probably just same cadence I am now. And then I went to Blue Bottle on Amsterdam and 73rd Street, and the only seat, and then, mind you, it's March 11th in New York. It's fucking cold, gray, miserable. Everybody's a scumbag. You know what I mean? That's walking around you.
Right.
Straight up. Like I could run everybody over with a bus from fucking 54th to 73rd Street just to get my coffee. I walk in and the only seat available is the one between the garbage and the cooler facing the wall. And I'm like, this is incredible. And I just sit down and I finally had a moment to like unwind for a second because I knew that I was never going to have to wipe a human's ass again. And I was not going to have to do this, the things I had done for the last 6 weeks. And I remember saying to myself, damn, I might blow my brains out when I get back to LA. And like actually, that was a real, that wasn't like, like I was like, damn, like this ain't worth living like this no more. It just took me a year and a half to climb out of this. And I was just about to get out.
Can't catch a break.
And I'm not going to get back in. This kid taps me on the shoulder. I don't know who the fuck is tapping me on the shoulder. And I turn around, it's a kid from Blue Bottle. And he hands me a stack of free drink cards. And it's this chubby Puerto Rican kid. And he's like, yo, I just wanted to give these to you. And I was like, thanks. And I was like, you have no idea how much this means to me. And it took me 2 years to go tell him what was going on that day.
Right, that he saved you.
He saved my life. Because the truth is, I felt like that was God giving me hey, somebody gives a shit. Like whether or not, and he didn't have to give them to me. He'd never done that before. He never even said hello to me.
Right.
And I've been going there for years. But he knows me. They know my name. They know my drink. You know what I mean? I give him a good tip. And, but that's the service. And that's when you make people smile. You have no idea what they're going through. You have no idea where they're at in life. And this little bit of service of him seeing me, probably with my head down, probably wondering, what's this kid sitting here for? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or this guy. And saying, let me just go give these to him. And realizing that little piece of thing has stuck with me so much. Because if I could do that for somebody else, if I could pull them out of the water when their fucking head is under the water and at that lowest moment, what other reason you have to be alive other than to do that?
It's true.
Like you do this podcast. Somebody might hear that and say, you know what? I was thinking about killing myself. And like, but there's people out there that care. And there's businesses that provide a service that make you feel good. And you go, whether you go to the Beverly Hills Hotel and you have lunch and then get a blowjob in the bathroom by some girl, or something happens that like, you're like, oh, I love this place.
I have a reason to live.
That was the best cheeseburger in the world, or whatever happened that night. Those little buoyant moments in life are why you live.
Back, yeah.
And you think about them, and it brings you out of the low. I bounced out. And literally, here's the problem: is like here's that low, here's a low, then it went lower. My business just went boom 2 days later because
of COVID.
COVID shut down, and that's why I hate these politicians. I hate Fauci because they didn't consider all the people that were going through cancer, all the people that are getting treatment, all the people that business is really fucking relying. Like I needed to go back to work,
right?
But the truth is, I buried my father. I drove back and I went to the office and I said, whoever wants to come in can come in. Whoever doesn't want to come in can work remote. Whoever doesn't want to work, it's fine. But I'm showing up to the office. And one by one, everybody came back to work. And we did not give a flying fuck about the state of California, the CDC, or whoever the hell they are, or the mask. I didn't give a shit about anything. We were not a family, but a team. Right. We were a team that were there to win. And we pivoted into balance, and we blew balance up.
Yeah.
And blew up. And Roy rode with me through it. And Aviv came out here, and we had a great team. And I was just on a different level of determination. I had nothing to lose at that point because I already accepted I was going to kill myself. So what more are you going to take away from me? I was going to do it to myself. So what are you going to do? Complain? Bad yell at me? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do?
That's the stuff right there. That's my biggest fear in my life. I'll be honest with you, is that I do a lot of the things I do in my life because of my mom. Because I'm also from a broken home. Like, it's just me and my mom. You know, we talk about this on the podcast all the time. And hearing this makes me feel crazy because I literally go to sleep after I moved to LA, and I'm like, and I feel so separated from her. And she's getting older, and I tell this kid, Kirill, this all the time. I'm like, yo, if God forbid something happens to her, I'm just gonna lose it. I think I'm just gonna like literally have to like take myself out. Because the only reason why things that happen to me, and the reason why I push myself, and the reason why I do all these things, is to help her. And I still don't feel like I caught up to the place where I can like pull her out, buy a house, do this, do that. There's certain things that I still want to do that are not hit on that list, and time just keeps running out. And in my head, I'm just already like, I go to sleep at night and I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna.
And all they want is to just spend time with us.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part, right? Like, we have these dreams for our parents. Like, I have these crazy dreams for my parents, right?
Yeah, me too.
But in the end, all they've ever wanted was to just sit on the couch with me.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and the saddest part is when she calls me and I'm running around and I'm doing these things, and some of the days that I'm here trying to do the little things that I'm trying to do, or they don't even add up to anything. And I'm heated and I'm in the moment and I'm doing all this stuff and trying to make everything happen, for, whether it's for my girlfriend, for an apartment, or a small idea I have, business, podcast, whatever it may be. I don't have time to talk to her. I'll be like, Ma, I got to call you back. I can't do this. And then she calls me. It's already 12 o'clock at night. She's going to sleep. And it's 8 o'clock here and I free up, or 9 o'clock. And then I still have to go to the gym. And I'll be laying in bed. I'm like, yo, I didn't even get a chance to talk to her all day. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And then in my head, I'm like, yo, is it worth being in LA? Should I just go back to New York?
Let's go.
And just try something out there.
Let's all go back to New York.
And I'll be in my head and I'll be really, really, bro, I will have really tough, I've been having a really tough time with that. And now that I turned 31 and I'm like, I want to hit all these accolades and all these tiers, and I still want to level myself up. And I was just like, I see the road ahead. Like you said, I got to be obsessed for the next 10 years to really, really take myself to the next level. And I'm like, where's my mom come into this?
Yeah, it's hard to, right? That's why most successful people, they're like, kids always grow up without the dad there, right?
And then
when you hear like a successful person, he always has to deny something from history, right? They're always like, oh, he was never there for my family, right? Like, he never did this. It's like, oh, I was out making money. And it's hard to balance that.
And my ego is like, yo, I want to reach all these peaks and valleys, and I want to win, and I want to be the best. I want to be the best shape. I want to have this. I want to have this house, this car. I want to do this for my girl. I want to have this kind of family. And then I sit back and I'm like, but wasn't the original reason I want to make her proud? But yet she's not really even benefiting off of it yet.
Yeah.
And that just crushes me. And I'll have the same thoughts. I'll be like, yo, if God forbid, I'm gonna fucking have to really, I think I'm gonna end myself, bro. You know, and that's my biggest kryptonite in my life, is that. It's just crazy to me. Like, even listening to you, I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna throw up.
Well, you know,
I'll
be honest with you. Here's the differences. After that shooting, I remember laying in bed and I said, damn, my pops would have been proud.
Yeah.
But I knew he must have been there, because there's no way I survived that without him being out there.
Oh, yeah.
But he definitely seen it, you know what I mean? And he would have, and my father loved guns.
Dude, I'm not your father, I'm proud.
Yeah, he was a 2-time gun felon. So he's like, he loved guns even though he was never supposed to carry one. You know, like, it's just, you got to look at it from the perspective of like, you're not also just making your mother proud, you're also creating stability. And my mother told my friend Frankie, I'm not worried about Vince. I'll worry about the world if Vince was after it. I'm not worried about Vince. You know what I mean? Like, he's good.
I know.
He'll be fine.
And I got my mom to that place where she's like, I'm not worried about you, and I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I want you to have a better life.
Yeah, you just want to be one of Aladdin.
So yeah,
I can show you the world.
She came from a broken situation, sacrificed everything for me and my brother. He took the short end of the stick, and then she's in her mid-60s, going into her late 60s. All I want to do is like, yo, I want to just show you the world.
Buy mom some fake tits.
I want to.
Let's take care of your mom.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? That's definitely.
Well, it's the last.
What sucks, what you said, what bugs me out is that's the driving force, and that's my driving force. But then it's like that driving force is gone. What are we doing?
That's what happened to Kanye.
What are we doing now?
Once his mom,
Kanye's on another level of
right? But he went nuts once his mom died, right? Because she was the only one willing to check him.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you know.
And nobody cares, right? Like he said, nobody gives a fuck. But if something, she might not even understand the things that I gotta go through, finances, this, that. Yeah, but the fact
we
that
don't.
she
But
cares.
we never understand the things our parents went through. Like I can't imagine immigrating to America. My parents, right, at 22 years old, not knowing a lick of English. Same with your mom, right? Like I can't comprehend how the fact that they have 2 homes, you know, when they came to America with $300.
Right. At Morristown, you could buy 14 homes for $300.
Hey, okay. Yeah,
it's
it's
tough.
just wild.
It's a very tough thing, man. It's a crazy thing.
No, of course. Here's the difference: is they come with a different level of hunger.
Well, yeah.
And there's no, they don't even understand when we talk about these kids like, oh, I'm taking a mental health day because I'm fucking want to dress as a peach.
Yeah, you couldn't get
Identify as a
offended.
banana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what?
In Russia, you couldn't get offended. You were just lucky to be alive.
It's one thing to be broke and warm. It's something to be broke and cold.
Yeah.
And you're freezing and you're like, this sucks.
Yep.
This really fucking sucks. You know? And not that New York is the worst place in the world, but it isn't easy.
Well, that's why there's so many homeless here, because they're broken and warm. The broken cold
chilling.
ones in New York, the homeless are so much better.
These guys got grills outside. They're fucking making food.
Bro, they have a $1 billion
chilling.
view living in an RV in Malibu. I'm like, bro, are you shitting me?
I actually wondered about that. Like, yo, that is great. Like
That's
the fact
the-
that they can have an RV and live in Malibu.
Right.
I don't even go to Malibu that much. They have a better life than me.
They do nothing. They're
Do
literally
you sometimes pass by
trash.
that and go, all the worries you got in your life, right? And all the things you got to do every day and climb that mountain. And you see these guys are just in Malibu, just like, shut off the world. Don't you sometimes like
You know what it is? I drive by them and I see them and I'm like, wow, they're not getting sued right now. They're not in all this.
Yeah,
They
right.
don't have all
There's
this-
no problems.
I'm like, this guy's living. He's doing better than me because he has no.
Yeah,
He has
all
like,
he needs to do is raise $100 a day, $20 a day to afford Doritos and like a hot dog, and then you just walk out and you're like, oh, I'm at the edge of America. It's the greatest. I live in the greatest zip code.
Yeah.
in Malibu.
people are spending fucking millions of dollars for taxes, and this guy's just chilling, eating fruits.
That's all going to change because the power shift is going to. It's the shift of power is going to come, and then a lot of people are not going to be able to sustain. And there's going to be a lot of these little entitled kids that aren't going to do shit. And then there's going to emerge a lot of people like us that come from pain. And they come from immigrant families and other people that are like, all right, cool. I'm going to breed warriors.
Okay.
I'm gonna breed warriors that can win.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You're running for office in California because I like you. I like what you stand for. What are you going to do about the homeless?
You ever been to Wyoming?
Oh, lovely
nothing
place.
there. Just send them all
Catalina
there.
should be our Australia.
Yeah, literally. Like I tell people all the time now, I'm like, all these other states, just find one of these cool states that like has a cool name that no one has any interest in going to and send them all there.
Yeah, let them start their own society.
Problem is, they all come back.
No, they're not allowed to. We fence it in.
I don't know if you could do that. I mean, it's kind of
you could.
far, so they might not be able to get back. I mean, look, they sent everybody from Texas up to New York. They don't go
Dude,
anywhere.
we used to put Japanese people in fucking cages during the internment camps. We can get a bunch of homeless people together.
Yeah.
You know what happens in America? Can I tell you what happens in America? You know what you just said? You just said that guys that come in through Texas and go to New York, they don't come back. You know the difference between the immigrants and the homeless people in this country? Most of the homeless people in this country are people that were already third generation, second generation, that become lazy, that don't care, they become lost souls, start doing drugs, whatever it may be.
Third generation homeless. I was like,
So they're third generation American or whatever they may be, right? They're just kids that want to be rebels, whatever it is, right? These people understand they don't fear America because they don't fear consequence. Immigrants come from countries where they have to constantly fear consequence.
Yeah.
That's why they don't come back to Texas.
Yep.
Because they're always afraid to make the next bad move, bad mistake, or this or that and the third. Like even my girlfriend's family, they're Brazilian. They're all the Brazilian community that come from Brazil. They're afraid to make one wrong decision because they don't want any problems. But people that start understanding how the system in America works and how pathetically it's set up, they're not afraid of anything. They're like, oh, everything's a gray area. I can do whatever I want. I'll hop on a train. What they'll do. Tell me I can't go on the train? Cool. An immigrant won't do that because they're like, oh my God, they're going to arrest me. They're going to take my papers. They're going to do this. They have such a big list of consequences because of where they come from. But once America tells them how lazy you could be, and we'll give you paperwork, we'll give you welfare, we'll give you every layup you want just to feed you, just to keep you alive. And once you accept that and you understand that, you just become, you're like, all right, I'm not scared of anything. I'm good. I don't give a fuck.
But that is the truth. There's no consequence anymore.
Right.
But here's the issue is you could look at it from a good perspective of an entrepreneurial perspective of saying, I'm not going to let anything stop me. Like when people like even like dealing with the city, when inspectors, I'm like, this guy's a moron. It's coming. Like he's literally a fucking moron. That's coming here. Or he's pretty cool. Like the one guy that comes to my house is super cool and knows the code. But like, I'm not going to sit here in fear because I'm going to make it happen one way or another. Because I'm also too, I'm not looking to build a 20-story building out of wood and like, oh, because it's cheaper and like, God forbid people die. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to still act with integrity, but I'm going to make it happen. These people's jobs are to shepherd deals, to shepherd employment, to shepherd these things that happen, to promote our economy. If they're standing in the way, sometimes you just get them out of the way. You know what I mean? And that's power. And that's the ability to make things happen. And you have to put the person in the driver's seat can fucking drive. You know, if that person's driving a minivan and has to get everybody to school on time, put the fastest driver in the front seat. And the 7 of them will get there pretty safely. Right. You know what I mean? But all 7 of them will show up on time.
That's his mentality too. I feel like you align with that really well.
Oh yeah.
we might make a few rights on reds that you're not supposed to and do some other stuff and maybe go over the speed limit a little bit.
That's me.
But we're
but those are all
in.
just tickets. That's solvable with money.
A lot of people in your field, especially cannabis and things, you know, you're in the media world where people are out there. A lot of people talk about money. A lot of people are like, I have this, I have that watch, I have this car. All the time I've been around you, I've never heard you talk about money. Like you're not a flashy guy. You don't go around fucking making people feel any type of way. Like I have this thing, I have that thing, and I appreciate that about you. Like I really like that. I think that's a very good character trait that you don't ever bring up money to the conversation. Where does that come from? Is that something that you personally choose to do, or is that something that you find like unattractive in a successful person? You
know, when you're doing business for so long, and he can attest to this, you have good days, you have bad days, you have good weeks, you have bad weeks. Whether I make 500,000, lose 500,000, to do this or lose that, it's all the same shit. You know what I mean? As long as I can get by and pay for shit and pay my bills and do what I have to do, it's going to come and go. You could ask Roy, like, Roy will give me money, and I'm like, and I make a joke, like I snap my fingers, I'll just turn it to dust. Not that I'll spend it on clothes or anything, but there's so many things
so
that
much
we have
overhead
to pay for, and people and things and that like it just goes that I don't even feel like I've grasped it yet. No matter how much property I own or businesses I own or whatnot, like I'm still chasing, and I think that I'll always chase. And I'll always be there, whether we sell the company for X amount of money or do this and that. Like, at what point am I going to sit down? Like, I like having abs. I like running fast. I like working out hard. I like feeling dangerous. You know what I mean? Where I could still perform. Those things matter almost more than money. You know, but I like to have money to go whatever gym I want. I want to be able to fly first class everywhere. I want to be able to do this. Do I need to fly private? No. At some point, yeah. But I'll probably still fly regular. You know, fly first class. Mint is dope.
I'd rather spend my money somewhere else. Dope. Mint is great.
I like what you said. Me too. My biggest flex is like, my brother, you could do whatever you want. You can drive whatever you want, but I want to feel dangerous. I want to feel sharp. I want to be on point.
Yeah.
Because I feel like toe to toe, I think that's more valuable to me than other.
Because that's going to prepare you to make the money. You know, no one, it's a saying, my friend brought it to me last night. Just he's young and single, and he was like, nobody loses women chasing money, but they lose money chasing women. And that is the truth. Like, everything that you want in life while you're chasing success will come, and the money will come no matter what, unless you're chasing the stupidest thing in the world. Like, I don't know, it's like being good at, like, you know, painting toilets. Like, no one's fucking paying.
There might be some money.
Yeah.
Like an arts degree, you mean? Something like that, yeah.
At the end of the day, no matter what, the juice is in the squeeze. The juice is in the action.
You got to love what you do.
Yeah.
If I hit the lotto tomorrow, would I be fucking thrilled? Absolutely. I'd be thrilled, beyond thrilled, but I would be thrilled as to how we could bubble the money.
Right.
And to make more money.
I just feel like a lot of people that are in your scene are there for the glamour.
It's a flashy world.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all about egos. It's a cool world, right?
You ever watch Layer Cake?
No.
Larry Cake is the guy from
Daniel Craig. He there's a part of the movie in the beginning where he says I'm not in it for the glamour.
because there was like a drug dealer that came through with a loud car, gold watch. He ran in there and he got this one-piece suit, and he said, "You know why I don't want to do business with you?" And the guy's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're in it for the glamour." He goes, "If you weren't in it for the glamour," he goes, "I would trust you." He goes, "But since you're in it for the glamour, we can't do this long term."
Yeah, you're making emotional decisions.
He said, "Get out of my face." You know what I mean? And I remember that scene in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And I fucking loved it. You know, it was one of my favorite fucking scenes. It's a very, very good movie.
This is audition for James Bond.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, basically once they saw that movie, they're like, all right, you can be Bond.
Yeah, it
So,
was.
you know, it's funny when you say things like that. I've been doing what I've been in this industry since I was 14. I'm 38, so 24 years out of my entire life. You know what I mean? It's only thing I knew if I was selling cinder blocks, stands or whatever. Like I just knew like boom, 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 boom. I just knew how to move and shake, and it was who I was everywhere I went. If I went to visit someone's colleges, I'd be like, "Oh, who sells weed here? Who sells weed here?" And I'd go buy weed and be like, "How much you paying for a pound?" And then I was driving up there a week later to take care of them. I just like, it was just who I was. It was so much of who I was, and not because I wanted it to be, because I also loved the idea that nobody knew who I really was. Like people would be like,
it was a mystique. It was like kind of like it was a character.
Yeah, I would hear this like every once in a blue moon. Like someone would pull me on the side, like older person, a serious like street guy, and they'd be like, "You're the same Vince," and I'd be like, "No," and they'd be like, "Yes, you are." And I'm like, and to me that was fun. Right. It was not fun hearing like, "Oh,"
I felt like a little super. You felt like Batman.
Oh, I loved it. I loved the game because I could turn it on and off whenever I want. If I don't have tattoos for a reason, I can go into school. I went to Manhattan School of Engineering, and I was a whole different person there, and I was able to do this, and I was able to just, if I wanted to shut it off.
That's what I enjoy about it too.
I don't decide how you look at me. I decide how you look at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want you to be afraid, I'll make you afraid. If I want you to pretend I'm not even there, I could do that too. I could do whatever I want. If I want you to respect the shit out of me, I could just open my mouth. I did it for so long to such a high level behind the scenes that I already knew I was the man. I didn't need to be convinced I was the man. I know
You're
my
talking
heart.
about the glamour aspect of it.
Yeah, like I watch all these guys that have to run and do it. It shows lack. Like I have discontent in my heart. That's why I work so hard. That's why I train so hard. That's why I chase the hours of a day. Like even coming here, I got to be here at 3:00. So I got to go to work. I got to do this. Supposed to meet Dan Fleshman at 12, but then he got pushed back. So let me position my time exactly that I'm going to leave here. I'm going to work out at 5:00 to work out with Tarzan, go for a run, come back, and then go to dinner, come home, appease my wife for a half hour. Everything I could fit in a day, to do the most I can comes with a certain level of being discontent because I can't just go home and sit down from 5. If I had to go home and live in the suburbs and sit home at 5:00, I would look for rope to hang myself in the fucking garage and hope to restart as somebody cooler. You know what I mean? Like straight up. Like I'd be like, hit the reset button because this guy is not cool enough. But I know in my heart I'm the man, so I don't need to show off. I don't need to do this. Do I like driving fast shit? Absolutely. Do I like showing off? No. Do I like nice stuff? Yeah, sure. But I like winning. And I don't even need everybody to know I win. But the people that I beat,
Want them to know.
They know.
The top 5 need to. I don't need everybody else to know. I just want the top 5 to know we ain't the fucking same. I outworked you because at some point you probably doubted me, or you did, and I could still be your friend. I can hang out with you. I go, I'll help you, but don't try to run against me, because then you're gonna turn me on. You're gonna get me going.
Man, this
Dude, I feel like this was like a very like a TED Talk that really got me hyped up.
But it was fun though. It was a TED Talk with a lot of humor
like
behind
I'm
it too,
really
which I
kind
love.
of inspired, and I wish I was more of a gangster.
Nah.
I don't think it's the gangster part. I think it's about really having that hunger for really,
Right, but it's also
to prove
having
some
a
people
slight scary
wrong.
side.
Oh, thanks. I mean, if that's a good thing, but
That is a great thing.
Oh man, Vince, thank you so much for pulling up.
Dude, thank you for
Thank you,
blessing
guys.
us with so many like literally insightful.
You're a fluid speaker
yeah.
too. You're a great speaker, a great storyteller, and you're the man. Honestly,
Thank you.
it was
Appreciate
funny
you.
too. It wasn't too
I
serious.
feel like you wish you could talk like him.
I mean, I guess I'm what I was. That's where the steps that I was following.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys if you ever feel this way after you do the podcast. You ever sometimes wake up and feel like you're a woman trapped in a man's body?
No.
Yes.
Oh, all right, neither do I.
Yeah, all the time. Daily.
No. You why? You thought you were gonna say yeah, right? No, not yet. I think if you give me another year in LA, I might.
I said in the locker room the other day, some guy came in. He said, "Oh, you're looking real, like whatever." I said, "I was thinking about it a lot lately." And he said, "What's going on?" I said, "You ever wake up thinking you're a woman trapped in a man's body?" He looked at me and went, "No." I said, "Oh yeah, me neither."
Okay. I don't want to suck that dick.
We have a few of those though, and they're not
really trapped anymore.
Yeah, they're not really trapped. Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you want to plug anything? Anything you would like to promote? You don't need our help.
I guess the weed brand is Balance Los Angeles, at Balance Los Angeles on Instagram, even though they shadow ban us all the time. And then Hubble Studio is at hubblestudio.com. Oh, at Hubble Studio and hubblestudio.com. We are a full creative agency that creates every type of marketing asset, photo, film, commercial. In the studio, we provide every type of service, events, photo, film, everything you need, top to bottom.
Really?
Everything.
Do you guys have all the camera equipment there too?
Everything.
Really?
I have everything. We provide it top to bottom.
Damn.
So you show up on set.
Expensive business.
You come in, you create it, break it, leave. That's the way it works. Yeah.
Wow. See? Just like that.
Dude, that's awesome.
This was an amazing time, brother. Thank you so much for taking out some time out of your day to come chill with us. Guys, if you haven't learned anything from this podcast,
kill yourself.
Yeah.
Kill yourself. Honestly, please do.
Vince Ricci.
Vince Ricci.
Woo. There you go.
Thank you, guys.
Dude, thank you.
That was a great podcast.